I don't like Saw either. When it comes to like the super blood and guts and gory and the torture, I don't do it. I like the good old haunted
But
house.
it's funny because like that's not the reason why I didn't like it. It was just solely because of that doll.
Okay, so you're just scary.
But I'm just yeah.
Oh my god, that just gave me chills. Oh, for me to create scripted series. No, we're not doing that.
Why?
I'm not doing
Tell
the
me,
bad.
you gotta explain your answers.
I'm not doing the bad girls club of Bowie.
But it doesn't. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Tiny Mike Talks. I know it's been a while. It's been about 3 years, almost 3 years since the last episode. But I figured it was the perfect time to bring this back because so much has happened in 3 years. I mean, I've graduated, I've done a couple internships, just some crazy stuff has happened. So I thought, why not bring it back now? And then also include the people that helped me on this journey to success and bring them on with me. So today I have a treat for you. I have a real treat. I've known this guy for about two and a half years, maybe. I mean, we met, that semester when the pandemic happened, and we've kind of been talking ever since. I like to say he's my tall imaginary friend. He doesn't seem real sometimes, so that's why I say he's an imaginary friend. But you may know him, you may not know him, but you're gonna know him today. But I would love to introduce you all to Mr. Payton Dunbar. Welcome to the show.
Ooh, Tiny Mike Talks. That was the best and worst intro I've ever gotten, so thank you for that.
Okay. You're unlike it today, though, because
yeah.
It's gonna be a good show today.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, we got this fancy setup. I'm in my dad's office. You're in no one knows probably your room, and we've got a tiny mic.
And we got a tiny mic, right?
We do have a tiny mic.
So before the show, you were like, as we were talking, you were like, where's your tiny mic? So I had to dig through my bag to get this tiny mic.
Yeah, I feel like I need a tiny mic, but I mean, I've got this. This is kind of small. So we're gonna make it do what it do.
The gaming headset.
I do play video games with this headset. I was gonna grab my snowball mic, but the one of the legs broke off, so I can't stand it up and just talk and look cool. I would have to. Yeah. So and that's not the type of microphone that you want to just hold. So I was like, all right, let me grab my headset.
We'll make that investment later down the line. Like, I got to get a new tiny mic anyway, so it's not.
Yeah, you do.
yeah. But so Payton.
Yeah. Let's
introduce yourself to the audience, and let them know about yourself and how you got your start in filmmaking.
Absolutely. My name is Payton Dunbar. I am a graduate of Bowie State University with a degree in visual communication, digital media arts, which is just a whole bunch of different art mediums combined together. I started off doing graphic design mainly, and I was like, graphic design is cool, like it's paying the bills. But once I got into my junior semester, I took digital cinematography, which you are well aware of, Destiny. I was like, okay, like there's classes with film where I can learn about film. So I really took a liking to that class, and Professor Sherelle Williams, who is amazing at what she does, she really kind of brought something out of me where it's like, okay, like I've always grew up like watching movies and liking them, but like when we have to actually create them now, it's like a whole different like beast. Like you have an appreciation for film and the filmmakers and stuff like that. So there was a couple projects in there we did, and then I took the part 2 to that class the next semester, and I was like, okay, like before it was kind of like my dipping my toe into like directing and writing and stuff like that. But now it's like, okay, like this is what I want to do. And funny enough, like I'm talking about like doing design and stuff for like career, but my track, concentration, whatever you want to call it, is film. So I was like, in order to graduate, I have to make a film. So let me learn about filmmaking as much as I can, learn about writing. And I just kind of fell in love with it. I love being able to wear multiple hats, whether it is directing, writing, or, sometimes I have to act, not well, but I do it. And, I'm being able to like balance both. Like now, if I'm going to do a film, I don't need to go out and get an artist to do a poster. Like I can do it myself. So it's just been a lot of fun. I'm having like a good time, just on the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what you said about wearing multiple hats, because with our just so y'all know, we were the same major concentration and everything. That's how I met him. But you were right with the program that we were in, and we have to do our senior showcase show where we show our short film that we shot, whether it be the course of the years or like the semester before. But you have to wear multiple hats in those types of productions, especially a student film. Like, I was the DP on my own film. I edited my own film. You write it, of course.
Yeah.
It's just so much that goes into it. And
so much.
It's funny that you said that, because like I would have never guessed that it's as tedious as that. Like, of course you have a inkling of how much work goes into a production, but you never really know until you're in it. Of that.
And another thing about, because all of the VCDMA, like all of the different concentrations, whether it's animation, graphic design, advertising design, whatever, fine arts, with ours, what makes ours so like unique and different is, if I'm an advertising design major and I've got to make these different advertising materials and posters and whatnot, that's on me. But when you have to make the film, you have to create it, but you also rely on other people to help bring it to life. And those people aren't always on schedule with you. So it's like, all right, if some of this doesn't get done, it's not always going to be on me. Like, I had to recast my short film 3 different times to get it done. Like, I had to ask for extensions. I had to, ask for makeups and stuff like that. So it was a really tough process. So I commend everyone that goes through that department and, goes through the senior show and graduation, all that. But the filmmakers especially, because like they have to rely on themselves, motivate themselves, get the work done, but also rely on other people to bring that to life. So it's not easy.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to go back to when you said you got your start in graphic design. So have you ever so when I first started following you, right, you would make like, your skit videos to put on like TikTok and stuff. So I wanted to know if you had did like post on YouTube before, or like do anything like remotely sort of like editing with YouTube.
I never was really big into YouTube for real. Like, I'm thinking back, because I started doing those skits on like TikTok and Instagram like during the pandemic, because I was just bored in the house, nothing to do. But that was mainly just social media. But as far as YouTube, like I would like upload a couple videos here or there, but nothing really. I was mainly on just like Instagram and TikTok. Because
you seem like you would make those types of skits, like who is it, RDC World and all those people. You seem like you would would have made videos like that.
Honestly, I think the only reason like keeping me from doing that was if I wanted to post on YouTube, I wouldn't want to do it like alone. Like, I kind of wanted like that group where it's like RDC or AMP or something like that. But with social media, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that, it's just you. So it's like, okay, I could just record this quick video on my phone and get it out. But for our YouTube, I would want like a bigger production, like more of a crew and stuff like that. So I didn't have that then, but I do have that now. So I might have to look into that. Yeah.
It's funny because that's actually one of the questions, but it's coming later on. But I wanted to talk to you and ask you, like, what's your favorite film and what's your favorite genre of film?
My favorite movie of all time, and anyone who knows me super, super well knows this, my favorite movie of all time is Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, 2002 Spider-Man. I can quote that movie from the start to the finish. My dad took me to see that when I was 2. So in the theater.
Do you remember?
Absolutely. Like, no, but it was always on like in my house. Like, we had on cable, so I was like, oh, this movie's great. Like, and that's how he became like my favorite superhero. No, I love Spider-Man to death. I've got the poster in my room. But my favorite genre of movies is horror movies. I think horror movies are super fun, even if they're not scary, but the scary ones that can also balance like a little bit of like comedy or silliness in the film. I feel like those are the most top tier. I'm a sucker for a good horror movie.
Yeah, I didn't start getting into horror until like maybe like my sophomore year of college. Like, people know who know me know that I don't like the Saw franchise. Like, it's something about, I don't know what is the
torture. It's torture, and like the little Muppet or puppet or whatever. Jigsaw.
Yeah, what is his name? I call him Jigsaw, but that's not his name. I don't think
that's not his name.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was. I think it is Jigsaw.
Is it Jigsaw?
It might be Jigsaw. Fact check me if I'm wrong, but I think the little puppet.
I don't know.
I don't like Saw either. When it comes to like the super blood and guts and gory and the torture. I don't do. I like the good old haunted
But
house.
it's funny because like that's not the reason why I didn't like it. It was just solely because of that doll.
Oh, okay. So you're just scary.
But I'm just scary. Yeah. But
doll's creepy. No getting around it.
But that is something like I tried to watch the first one, but I got distracted. I got sidetracked. So maybe I'll have to go down and because there's like more than 10 of them.
I think the 10th one just came out like last year. Yeah, I've never seen a single Saw movie, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably never gonna watch it. Like when I saw, like, I knew the Saw movies had been silly, but when I saw they had that one a few years ago with Chris Rock, I said, okay.
But funny enough, I watched more of that one than the first one.
That's not good.
I've seen more of it than the first one.
Don't say that out loud. That's not good.
but going back to horror, I think it's cool that you are a horror fan because I wouldn't say that like horror is my favorite, but I love psychological horror. So like
absolutely,
I love A24's films. So like Midsummer, The Witch, Hereditary was a big one for me.
Hereditary is one of my favorite scary ever. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that movie, like when the first time I saw it, I was like, "What am I watching?"
It's super sucks.
Yeah. I think I like the ones that really play with your mind a lot. So like psychological horror.
Yeah.
More than the blood and the guts and the jump scares here and there. I like that aspect.
I used to be
cool that you said that.
I used to be a really like my guilty pleasure, because a lot of the movies in this subgenre are bad. But I used to be a really big fan of like the found footage horror movies. So like Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah.
Those are my guilty pleasure movies. Like the first couple Paranormal Activity movies are good. There's a lot that are bad, but I don't know, something like, because it's just so real. Like even something like Cloverfield. This is like the stuff with the camera, like
what's funny?
Real, like it's there, like that scares me.
I loved Cloverfield when it came out, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane came out. I loved that one too. And then they had another one where it was like they were in space. I didn't really like that one too much.
The Cloverfield Paradox, I think that's what that's called.
Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
But yeah, found footage movies. I mean, I know Blair Witch really put that on the map. Yeah. You've seen it?
Well, yes, I've seen it. Which I could say one of the like biggest bait and switch movies I've ever seen. Like that movie that movie is just like I think it was great for the time what they did and really playing up in the advertising this is real. But when you realize and you get down to it, that movie is just a bunch of darkness and screaming. Like it's like not really, But I appreciate what it did for like film stuff like that.
Yeah. But so since I've known you, I would say you've really increased like the way I guess you work within our department at VCDMA and then outside too. Which has led you to HBCU in LA. So I wanted to ask you about your experience with HBCU in LA. And if someone is watching and they don't know what that is, could you explain that to them?
Yes. So HBCU in LA is a program through ECOB, which is the Entertainment Industry College Outreach Program. And it's basically a cohort program that, you're in during the summer, where you are basically set up with different opportunities as you work for major companies and networks, whether that's, Disney, Warner Brothers, NBC Universal, stuff like that. So if you are lucky enough to get into this cohort program, they will start sending your resumes out to these different companies. You might get some callbacks, set up some interviews. And if you're able to get a position with one of these companies, you will go out to Los Angeles, New York, or Atlanta for the summer and work that internship. And I got in last summer. I actually got in. They had sent out who made it into the cohort in January. Like it was on my birthday last year. So I was like, oh, this is a great birthday present. This is amazing. So basically that whole spring, I was just doing a bunch of interviews with these different companies, and it was a great experience. Like I had never gotten that many interviews, like with many jobs before, because I worked at Giant. I used to work at Giant. So I worked at that job and some other smaller level jobs, but this is like Disney. Like, what am I even doing here? But it was great. Like, got my confidence up and got my ability. I feel like being able to speak, to people, professionally in a professional setting. I unfortunately didn't get a position, but I'm back in it this summer with the hopes of getting one. So I could potentially go out to one of those 3 cities again. And yeah, anyone who's attends an HBCU and they think, oh, I might not have the experience, or like, my resume doesn't look that good, just definitely apply, because it is a fantastic program that it's definitely changed my life for the better. Like, it kind of made me want to focus more and lock in on my career, my professional life. Like, people laugh at me because I tell them my favorite social media is LinkedIn, but I'm so serious. If you go on LinkedIn, you will see I'm very active I'm going to post on LinkedIn after we get off this. So yeah, definitely it's an amazing program. I urge everyone to look into it for sure.
Yeah. And from personal experience, I applied when I was a first semester freshman. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in this. I ain't have no type of resume, no experience. I had nothing, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it was cute that I applied and I tried. Right. But it's funny because I helped Madison with her process of doing her entry video.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I helped with that. And then I applied for last year too, but I didn't make it in, of course, because I'm basically a year post-grad.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a cool experience that we're able to, have that resource available to us, especially, like being at a HBCU.
Yeah, it's super dope. And it also gives like students like life-changing experiences. Like when you're, because people come from all walks of life and go into these like different HBCUs and stuff. Like, I have friends that made it out there, and it's like, bro, seeing like the small city you came from, and now like you're in Hollywood, like you're with big execs, and seeing celebrities, all stuff. It's something that if you get the opportunity to do, like, work as hard as you can. And I feel like I worked really hard to try to get a position last summer, but not getting it is giving me motivation to go harder this summer. So if you have the opportunity, and anyone that's potentially watching this that's in that cohort program, I would say like definitely like work, because if you're able to go out there, like you're going to be able to set yourself up for opportunities that you never probably even dreamed of before.
Of course. And like, to your point, I mean, like, just to like, when I first entered college, I didn't think that I would be able to have internships with the NFL or NFL films, or get into the Disney mentor program. I never thought about that. So to just be able to have that resource to us, and things are still evolving within, our Bowie state community, and then also at other HBCUs as well. So I think that's really encouraging to see that, you're able to uplift that next generation, because I'm all about bringing up the people who want to be where I am, and higher as well. So anything that we can do to progress that and spread the message, advocate, we're gonna do it. Absolutely. So I think it's cool that you said that.
Yeah, Bowie State's definitely on the up and up, especially in the VCDMA department. That's just something I want to do. Like when I was a senior, and like ever since we got back from COVID, I wanted to like build more of a sense of community in that department, and seeing how it was then when I first got there, seeing it now, like people help each other, like filmmakers help designers help theater majors and stuff like that. Just seeing like, okay, like we can all like get together and be friends and stuff like that. Like we can work together, we can also hang outside. It's amazing. And as an alumni, I'm gonna continue to try and help the people that are like behind me.
And it's funny that you brought that up, because that was like the next part of my question.
I can basically just see your show notes.
Yeah, I have everything just on my forehead.
Yeah.
But how is it collabing with, your other fellow creatives in the VCDMA department, but not also the VCDMA department, but like the fine and performing arts building in general?
Yeah,
and other majors beyond that too.
Yeah, I'm. This is the portion of the interview where I can, name names and put people super.
Yes, name names, because we love that.
Yeah. So yeah, collabing with people just at that school, honestly. But like when you talk about the theater arts department, the performing arts, I met one of my friends, Keisha Brown, who is an enormously
shout out to Keisha.
Who is an enormously talented, like she's talented behind the camera and in front of the camera. And once I learned that she can act and seeing like some of her work, I'm like, I need you.
Yeah, we gonna use you.
Yeah,
we're gonna use you for some stuff.
I need you now. Like I need you in front of stuff. So we did a couple projects together, a couple short films together. but also just like being like in that space, I can meet other people that I can potentially like work with and stuff. Like, because there's people there who like, okay, I see you're amazing at stage acting, but I would love to see how you act for a screen. And there's a class in that department called acting for the camera, taught by Professor Kong, and like so many of the people in there I think are theater people, but like once they learn, okay, there's another style of acting, then it's like, okay, how can I work with them now for projects that I want to work on? So that's been great. But also just people outside that department. I met my friend Marcus Williams, who is someone that I was like, okay, wait a minute, why are you not here, like in this major? Because when I met him in my self-promotion and marketing class, I found out he was an actor. I found out he was a rapper, like all that stuff. He's worked on the stage before. So I was like, hey, I had a project to do for motion graphics where we had to do a commercial. So I was like, oh, I need an actor. Oh, I could hit up like this Marcus dude that I met in class. And I was like, oh, wait, like you're really talented and stuff like that. And it's like, but no one knows. And it's just like the biggest thing that I want to do and that I think we want to do as a collective, like the team I'm with, is, you know, give spotlight to those people who might not be super sure of themselves or super ready to put themselves out there and advertise like their strengths and their talents. And I feel like, you know, with this new projects we're working on and projects in the future, like my cinematographer, Quantrez Brown, he's amazing, but he doesn't say a word. So it's like no one would ever know. But just getting all these people together, these super talented, low-key people together to make stuff like Mr. Matthews and other stuff that we're going to work on in the future, like that's what probably brings the most joy to my heart, is giving them like the shine.
Yeah. And I love the fact that with us being in the VCDMA department, we kind of have to reach out to people to help us, especially, you know, during our senior project. I mean, getting together a crew and cast for even just for a 5-minute production, like so much goes into that, and I don't think people realize that. And I think oftentimes people can take that for granted because, I mean, even if you don't really know anybody in the department, it's still cool to have people willing to help us out with, you know, projects, graduating, even just not with, you know, graduating, but just like doing side projects, like what you're doing. Yeah.
And then like even like going back to like that digital cinematography class I was in, I took it with one of my friends was in there, Lamont Tucker Jr., who ended up, we were collabing on just the projects in that class, and then he ended up being the star of my senior film. And now he's in Who Killed Mr. Matthews, playing a pivotal role. So, you know, just networking with people and then like really just getting out your shell and like approaching people and being like, hey, like, do you want to do this? And seeing, oh, they're like-minded like me. They like to create and they like to perform as well. So like that's been great too.
Yeah. So we're nearing the not the end point of the interview, but you know, we're nearing the end of the questions. But could you tell me more and the audience more about New World Media and what you're trying to bring to the table?
Yes, New World Media is something that I have been thinking about starting for about a year now. And shout out to Keisha, because Keisha also helped me come up with this. And it's kind of like
shout out to Keisha.
Keisha, she's a superstar. And it's kind of like it's a play on words of the New World Order, which, you know, back in, I think it was the 80s, 90s, which was the government, they thought it was a secret totalitarian government that was kind of having an uprising to take over the world. And it's kind of like, that's what I want with all these different creatives. Like we're not known, but eventually we will be known, and we're going to be taking over media and Hollywood and stuff like that. So it's just an outlet to be able to create different films, as my phone rings, different films, web series, just like different projects in general that, you know, people are gonna definitely enjoy like in the future. So yeah, that's what New World Media is for me. It's my little startup production company.
Yeah. I'm glad you're getting that started too, because I need to also get my production company started. I mean, I have 727.
That's a hard logo. That's a good logo too.
I need to make a logo. I actually don't have a logo for it, but I have a logo for Tiny Mike Talk. So so we're getting somewhere. But with New World Media, with you having a short film under your belt, with you having all this experience, this brings us to Who Killed Mr. Matthews, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So before we dive into it, I want to show people, you know, your teaser trailer for Who Killed Mr. Matthews.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. All right.
We shouldn't be doing this, okay? We could get in a lot of trouble.
He was more than just a teacher. He was my friend.
You have to move on. You have to let it go.
Mr. Matthews deserves justice. I'm gonna find the truth.
Oh my god, that is giving me chills.
You know, the first time I watched that, I was like, "Ooh, this look a little ominous." It got me out of my seat a little bit because the music and sound is like the biggest like stickler for me when you're making a video or a film, anything. So yeah, I mean, tell us about Who Killed Mr. Matthews.
Who Killed Mr. Matthews? A lot of people use the term passion project, and I've always been like, I haven't really felt that, so I can't call this a passion project until now. Who Killed Mr. Matthews is definitely something that I cannot wait to show everyone. So basically, I was sitting in the writer's room, which is my room. I was sitting in the writer's room in Discord with Marcus. He was like, let's create something. Like, let's just jot down ideas. And we eventually got to Who Killed Mr. Matthews, which is a story about a high school student who regular day at school. He finds his teacher dead in the bathroom. And, he's obviously traumatized by this. So him and his friends do like their own little private investigation to figure out, what really happened, because they believe foul play was involved, and there's a whole bunch of chaos that happens and ensues throughout the film. So yeah, it's a cute little psychological thriller murder mystery.
Yeah. So it's all tying back into, your appreciation for horror too.
Yes. Yes. Because I feel like, with horror, like you can kind of predict, okay, like this is gonna happen, or like for certain thrillers and murder mysteries, like okay, like I know that this person is the killer. But like, so that's really something I wanted to like me and Marcus Williams, who co-wrote it with me. That's something that we really want to focus on. Okay, we want to stay away from tropes, and we want to stay away from certain like stereotypes, but we want to be able to still give the audience a fun viewing and like, leave them guessing for what's coming next, and just make a solid production in general. And I really feel like that's what we're doing, because like kind of like going back to what I want to do with New World Media. And I said this at the senior show, I really want to, kind of shine a different light also on Black cinema and try to go away from like the stereotypes that we see. Like there's only a few different characters that you feel like Black people could play, but seeing people like Jordan Peele create like advanced cinema, next level horror, like that's super inspirational to me. And I feel like, let's show what we can do. So so Mr. Matthews is going to be an amazing project.
Yeah. And going back to, you saying Jordan Peele was inspirational to you, were there any directors, writers, or even cinematographers, anyone who really played a part in you wanting to create something like Who Killed Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, like you said, like with Jordan Peele, like when I first saw the trailer for Get Out many years ago, I was like, oh, what is this? Looks silly. But then like when you go to the theater, you're like, oh, like this is maybe the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. So he was definitely huge. As far as just like the vibe and style, like I'm a big Sam Raimi fan, like going back to Spider-Man being my favorite movie. I just feel like his camera techniques and the way how he kind of plays up, like it's almost like the camera is a character sometimes. So I definitely wanted to like include some of that in my films. And honestly, just like the epicness and like the scale of like what Christopher Nolan does is super amazing. It's how every moment feels so big, and like with the music, like that was in that trailer, like that's kind of, you could say, it's Christopher Nolan-esque. So yeah, but like all directors that I see like with different films I love, like kind of like inspire me. Yeah.
And to your point, I mean, I also want to get away from certain tropes in my films as well. Whether that be, the first character dying a Black person or just anything like that. Like that's something I think is important for, especially us, the newer generation of creators and filmmakers, for us to get away from. Is there any other genres or any other genres or any other themes that you want to explore in your films?
I've never, like, surprisingly, knowing me, like, you know me pretty well, and my friends know me. I've never done anything with comedy for real. Like,
Yeah.
and I'd like to think I'm somewhat funny.
That just brought me up to something else, but I'll ask after you're done.
Yeah, I've never done a comedy, so and comedy is super, like, horror is super subjective. Like, what scares you might not scare me. What makes me laugh might not make you laugh. So I'd want to really sit down and, like, make something genuinely funny and not something, stupid. Like, I don't want to, I don't want, like, pity laughs or like chuckles. Like, I want, like, to make something genuinely funny. So yeah, comedy is definitely something that I want to explore, and maybe I feel like I could write, like, a cool little love story, like a romance. I don't know. So people think that I may not have that in my bag, but I think that I could do a cool romance that'll really be like, oh, like, they're clearly in love, and I kind of want to I'm gonna go download Tinder and see if I could recreate this in real life.
It's funny you said that, because that was my whole thought process when I was coming to the idea of my short film.
Which is amazing, by the way. Real quick, I was telling Marcus about you and told him that I told him or told you about him, and I was like, oh yeah, let me show you Destiny's senior film. And bro, when I'm telling you, like, I hadn't seen that film since the senior show, I'm like this is like, and it's not just because you're my friend. Like, I could not know you, but I'm like, this is good, and it's like you could tell that you put, like, work into that, because it's so easy. Like, you've got these deadlines and stuff. You could have, like, made 50% effort on that and just turn something in, just like, let me get my degree. But you, like, after, like, the camera angles, the lighting, like, the script, like, I was like, I'm getting emotional. I'm like, I need to turn this off. So I definitely want to give you your flowers for being someone that's because I was texting you during the senior show, like, oh, this is crazy. Like, where did you?
He was definitely texting me.
Yeah. So I want to give you your flowers and be like, you are also an amazing filmmaker. That's someone that is inspirational to me to create films. So yeah, your film is great. But back to your question. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I mean, there's so many other mediums that I want to explore as well. Yeah. And other genres and other things I want to explore too. And I think comedy is a good one too. But like you said, everything is subjective. Yeah. So that will probably, I might put comedy on the back burner. I think I might explore romance films a little bit more. Yeah. Just You've because, like, I think I did a pretty good job with the feels. But I can also see you doing a comedy story too, a romantic comedy. Yeah, I think that's right up your alley.
Yeah, romantic comedy could be cool. If I'm thinking about it, I actually did do a comedy script for Professor Bartlett's class, like his
shout out to Professor Bartlett.
The GOAT. But yeah, see, he was another person that was instrumental in getting me into the writing aspect of filmmaking. Yeah. And we had to do, I think it was 5 or 10 minute comedy screenplay. Yeah. And that I called mine Halloween Party, which was about these 2 high schoolers that went to a Halloween party, and they think that the people there are just wearing super good costumes, but they're just, like, real monsters. So I thought that was okay. Like, this is kind of blending horror and comedy. So I've done that before. I think it went pretty well. Like, I got a good grade on that script. So I would definitely explore comedy again. And now, with you bringing up romantic comedy, I think that's something an avenue I can go down as well.
Yeah. So tell us about PJ's. Is it called PJ's Comedy Camp?
Bro. Okay.
Tell us about it. You gotta. This is marketing. This is advertising for free.
So, I'm sorry. Yeah. So PJ's Comedy Camp is a very real, by the way, camp that I'm trying to set up, get funded, get off the ground, and during the summer for people to come and learn to get funny. So someone like Destiny is someone who I believe doesn't need comedy camp, but she should probably come to comedy camp. There's gonna be, different classes on improv, punchlines. Comedy camp is something that I feel like will change your life for the better. We'll feed you, and if you want to talk more,
feeding you is the most important.
Yeah, if you want to talk more about comedy camp, you can stay tuned to my Instagram, which is down here at the bottom, and I will be posting more about the comedy camp coming up this summer, hopefully. But I'm gonna need it funded, so people.
Of course, everything needs to be funded, whether that be through like craft services or whatever. Yeah. Everything needs funding in this industry.
Absolutely.
So, I'm glad that we had this chat about, you know, what is driving you to create what you're creating. And this brings me to my little mini game segment. Okay. I call it Top 2, Not 2.
Top 2, Not 2.
Top 2, Not 2.
Okay.
So it's just basically a game where you pick one out of the two options. And for your instance, it would be the film edition.
Ooh, let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. So horror or drama?
Horror.
Yeah, we already discussed that.
Yeah.
Tell me why though. Why horror instead of drama?
Because I'd rather be scared than sad when watching a movie.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I agree.
Like,
You don't like crying?
I don't not like crying, but like that rush of like like a jump scare. Like it's cheap, but it's like being on a roller coaster. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, reality show or a scripted series for you to create?
Oh, for me to create scripted series. No, we're not doing that.
Why?
I'm not doing
Tell me, you gotta explain your answers.
I'm not doing the Bad Girls Club of Bowie.
But it doesn't have to be like that. There's multiple routes.
You know what? You saying that it's not necessarily a reality show, but I would do somewhat of a loosely based mockumentary style.
Yeah.
My dream was to do like a mockumentary style of Bowie State, but like it's like The Office, but it's Bowie State and like specifically VCDMA. So that's kind of reality because it would have there'd basically be no script. I'm just kind of getting the weird people that you see at that school. But if something I'd rather do like full time, give me a scripted series because I like to write.
Yeah. So would you rather live in a zombie apocalypse or a post-apocalyptic world? So it's kind of really the same thing, but not really the same thing because there are no zombies.
Well, one has zombies and one doesn't. Yeah. I mean, see, my heart. Well, no, my head is telling me go with the post-apocalyptic world because there won't be any zombies and I'll have a bigger chance of surviving. But my heart is telling me go with the zombie apocalypse because like this is gonna be cooler. I could probably get I could kill zombies and then I'll be a hero. So I'm gonna go with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I always say I don't have that much will to live. So if a zombie apocalypse happens, you will not see me around. I'm so sorry.
We need to have a different Tiny Mike talk after this goes on. What was that? Okay, next question.
But so you've seen The Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm. I've seen The Matrix.
So would you rather the blue pill? So like you turn a blind eye to everything, or would you take the red pill and you want to know the truth?
I'm gonna go with the blue pill because in real life I'm the kind of person where it's like if I feel like I'd rather not know, I'm gonna go with that. And also the red pill has a very bad reputation now, so I'm gonna go with the blue pill.
Yeah. And we'll leave it at that. Yeah. I want to ask you, since you are the Spider-Man connoisseur.
I am the Spider-Man connoisseur, and I am Spider-Man.
And you are Spider-Man, right? Yes. Right. So, I just thought about this off the whim. So, I'm gonna give you all three of the franchises, okay?
Okay.
So we have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield,
yes,
and what's his name? Tom Holland. So, out of all three movies of the first franchise, which is the best one for you? Which one are you picking every time?
I'm gonna pick what my favorite movie of all time is, Spider-Man 1. That movie. Spider-Man 2 is widely recognized as the best movie from that trilogy. But I mean, it's Willem Dafoe. I mean, what are we doing? It's the Green Goblin. Like it's Macho Man Randy Savage in a cage. It's Spider-Man 1.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I think I like the third one a lot just because we got that darker side of Peter Parker.
Yeah, and honestly,
I've always
when that movie came out, I was like, oh wait, 3 is my favorite, and then I'm like, oh wait, this movie's kind of bad, but it's like it's Spider-Man doing cool stuff.
Bad as in like you don't like his character arc, or bad as in like the movie itself?
Oh, it's just the movie's just a jumbled mess. Like it's fun. There's fun things about it, but it's not. It's just too much going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still have an appreciation for it. Like it's still like I enjoy parts of the movie. But yeah, as a kid, I'm like, oh, this movie's great, and like Venom and stuff. But yeah, 1 is my favorite.
Yeah. All right. And I'm not sure how many movies Andrew Garfield had. I think he had two.
Just the two, yeah. Amazing Spider-Man
Okay.
one and
So
Spider-Man 2.
which one out of the two are you choosing?
Well, both those movies are kind of not good.
They weren't good to you?
No, because like, okay, they rebooted Spider-Man 5 years after Spider-Man 3. So I'm like, okay, I just saw this. The Amazing Spider-Man 1, it's okay. It's a little boring to me. But it's okay. And Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Jamie Foxx Electro was hilarious. So I think honestly I would go Amazing Spider-Man 2. The best thing about that movie is the suit. The suit looks amazing, but it's just a silly movie and it makes me laugh. So I'm gonna go and with the Green Goblin that looks like he's like on something. It's a lot of fun.
And I kind of can't take Jamie Foxx seriously in his role either.
Silly. What are you doing? Like,
what are you doing here?
The Rhino? What are we doing?
But I will say I haven't seen either full through, I don't think, but I always see the Gwen Stacy death scene.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
That the way they shot that, the scene itself, the music, everything was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's good.
So I will give them that. And for, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I know that's pretty, especially for Marvel fans. I know they really love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I prefer Tobey Maguire though.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie. But I'm not even sure myself. I wouldn't call myself a Marvel fan, but I'm not sure which movie out of the three I would choose. But it's funny because I haven't seen the second one.
So the Tom Holland movies are interesting because when they first came out, I'm like, okay, we're rebooting Spider-Man again. Spider-Man Homecoming. It's a cute little movie. Like I felt like it was fun, but when I watch my Spider-Man movies, I need stakes. Like it felt like, okay, I know this is gonna be fun. Like it kind of felt like a Disney Channel Spider-Man movie. Like it felt safe. Like it was like, okay, let's just go. Like this is for teenagers. Right. Spider-Man Far From Home, when he went overseas or whatever. Like okay, I was like, this movie's a little bit cooler. Like he's got Mysterio and stuff like that. Like there's bigger, epic proportions. But I'm like, it's still missing something. But Spider-Man No Way Home, Destiny is like one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had in my life. And I understand that movie was banking on Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield like coming back, but just that moment of it's kind of like the Endgame moment where everyone walks through the portal, like seeing them walk through the portal and like the three Spider-Man swinging at once. I mean, how can you not choose that? That movie's amazing. It's fan service to the max. Don't get it wrong. Like that movie is fan service. It sacrifices a little bit of writing for fan service, but movies are about having fun. You're not always gonna get Oppenheimers. You're not gonna get Everything Everywhere All at Once is like Oscar-winning pictures. You just want to go to the movies and just have some fun. That movie that's probably the most fun I've had in the theater. So yeah, definitely No Way Home.
And like you said, just you got to raise the stakes a little bit. So the stakes were raised for him a lot, actually.
Because when you go back and watch like Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire, and I just was writing about this for something the other night. The thing about Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi movie, is when you get to the climax and you see like it's just Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and the Green Goblin fighting in that abandoned building, and like there's no music, there's no super big special effects, no CGI. It's just two people fighting, like the brutality of it and how raw it is. It's like, okay, like this is something we don't see in comic movies now at all, because every comic movie now has the super big, explosions and all the CGI at the end of the movie. It's just kind of like, that's why comic movies are kind of down right now, because it's the same thing every time. But really going back and seeing like the appreciation for practical effects and stunts, it's like, okay, this is why this movie is still held high as far as like comic book movies.
Right.
And like, it's like, now we're a little bit of a dark age, but I believe we will get out of it hopefully soon.
Yeah. And I know this is like a sidebar question, but have you seen any of the DC movies that have come out recently?
The last
like
DC
the Blue
movie,
Beetle and
Blue Beetle was the last one I saw. I missed out on Shazam 2. I missed out on Black Adam, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed out. I think something else came out. But yeah, DC's kind of been not great. Oh yeah, and Aquaman, the second one. Yeah, nothing's been appealing. I kind of did like, and I know I'm gonna get like questioned about this. I like the Flash. I kind of like the Flash. When I watched the Flash in the movies, I was like, this is like a really fun movie. But I watched it at home and I was like, oh, like this is like did you watch the Flash?
I haven't watched it.
Okay, well the Flash has some questionable CGI that kind of makes you go like.
I think I saw on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter a lot, especially when a new movie comes out. I'm always on Twitter to see what people are saying about it. I think they might have put those scenes on Twitter, and I was like,
like with like the babies and stuff, and like the two bears.
Yeah,
it's a little wonky. It's kind of makes me feel like I'm playing a PlayStation 2 game. But I don't know, parts of the Flash were funny. But now since the DCEU is dead and they're restarting it again with, I guess, the new Superman movie, I'm willing to give DC a chance. Because DC, like, I grew up watching DC animation. Like the DC animated movies, like the old Justice League show, Teen Titans, like all that is great. But when it comes like their live action movies in that universe, it's like
they kind of fall short a little bit.
Yeah, and then Marvel came and they were so great, and you saw DC trying to copy Marvel, and it didn't work out. But then now Marvel's kind of like, what are y'all doing? So now it's kind of like, all right, well, I don't really know what to watch now. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll watch The Boys when that comes back out.
Oh, I love The Boys.
Boys, I'll watch. That's my favorite.
Get me started.
That's my favorite superhero property.
But I have a question. Is Batman, like the one with Robert Pattinson, is that a part of the
So
DCEU?
that's not a part of the
And Joker?
DCEU. Those are separate universes. So
okay.
They did. So you're not going to see Robert Pattinson Batman with Blue Beetle, even though that's dead now anyway. But yeah, that's a separate thing. And that's why it's so good, because they're not worried about a bigger universe. They're worried about this one story in this one universe. And that's why Joker's amazing. I have the Joker poster in my room as well. That movie had nothing to do with the DCEU. It was just a standalone story. And I feel like that's what we need to kind of go back to, because once Marvel started getting success and stuff like that, everyone was so obsessed with making a cinematic universe. And us talking about that right now, I don't know if you saw on Twitter. I'll send it to you after this. Did you see the Pooniverse?
Yeah, the Pooniverse. But you know what's funny? I want to watch those movies. I don't know. I think isn't like the Winnie the Pooh, like the first one out?
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Guts came out last year, and the sequel, I don't know if that comes out this year or whatever, maybe next year. But yeah, that sequel's coming out. They're doing like the Bambi horror movie and the Peter Pan. It's all gonna
Piglet. I saw everybody.
Yeah, and it's all gonna lead to the Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, and it's so silly and sounds so awful, and I cannot wait for it. Like I'm ready. Give me the Pooniverse.
The Pooniverse. Like, I wonder if Disney like can sue them for that. That's my whole thought process when the whole Pooh movie, like the trailer and the poster dropped and everything. That's
the thing. So I've researched that myself, and those IPs, like those intellectual properties, like the rights deals were up, so they were free use. So that's why they were anyone could come in and make, like, because I think even some properties like Superman, their rights run up, and for a certain period of time, it's free use, so anyone can make a Superman movie, or I think like Mickey Mouse or like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna get the Pooniverse because we can. Like they don't gotta worry about getting sued. So
imagine a Mickey Mouse horror film.
We don't. The way things are going, we probably don't have to imagine that. That's probably being made right now. They're working on the scary Bambi right now. And anyone that knows me, I hate deer. Deer are the scariest animals on this earth. And now I gotta go see just our scary Bambi.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's I watched some gameplay on YouTube. I've watched it for like 10 years or so. I follow this one YouTuber, and then it branched out to other people. But there's like a game called Bendy and the Ink Machine or something like that. It's kind of loosely based off of Disney's Mickey Mouse, I think, because the main character is like, it's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, it's like an ink factory that's like, I think it was out of business for a long time. So there's like a person like going through trying to find this main character, Bendy or whatever. But I think it's loosely based off Mickey Mouse, and I think they're making a movie about it. You can look it up. But it's called Bendy and the Ink Machine. I think I might have to rewatch that game footage. But I think I really love the fact that some of these games are being able to make live action films as well. Like, I saw Five Nights at Freddy's. I wasn't expecting much, don't get me wrong, just because like the game itself like has kind of gone down in quality a little bit, but I actually enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually pretty good.
That movie is terrible. And
everything is subjective. So
no, yeah, you can have your opinion. Yeah, if you like it, it's great. But we actually, like, before I graduated, like a couple months before, we watched it together at school in a classroom. And I'm like, wow, we're gonna get more of these, aren't we? Because there's so many games, and it's just like, okay, this movie's not. I don't like this movie, but if people like are enjoying the fan service and the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, then have at it. Have your movie.
So be it.
I
Right.
won't be there.
Will you be in the building for? I don't know. So like The Last of Us. I know it's a TV series, but do you like the fact that they brought The Last of Us to live action?
I mean, yeah, I think now we're starting to see, because before, if we're going back to another dark ages in cinema, video game movies were notoriously known for being terrible. But now we're getting stuff like The Last of Us. They have, I think they're doing a movie for, I don't remember if it was Borderlands or
Borderlands. It's Borderlands.
Is that out? Or there's a series out, and it's got like the.
Oh, they're doing a Borderlands series. Sorry.
Yeah.
But they're doing a Fallout.
Fallout.
Movie.
Yeah, there's another.
No, I think it might be a Fallout TV series, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it a series?
That teaser's out.
There's another one, and you might be able to help me out. There's another one out there in like the game. It has like this guy with this scary clown mask, and like he's in an ice cream truck. I can't remember, but the show came out, and it's doing well. So we're kind of seeing video game movies and properties be good again. And like the Mario movie is the biggest movie last year. Sonic
the Mario
doing
movie.
really well. So The Last of Us, and they're doing it well too. So like if you're doing good writing and putting out a quality product, then I'm all for The Last of Us being a series.
Yeah. So are you one of the fans per se of these video games to live action series?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you do it good, like if you don't just go in there and make the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out in the 90s, that live action one, that's awful. Don't do that. But like if you take time, and I feel like get people who work on the movie who maybe worked on the game, or like fans of the game and stuff like that. You gotta when you're working with properties like that, you have to balance fan service and good writing. And I think The Last of Us is definitely doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't even feel like it, but we've been talking for more than 50 minutes now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like we're having a normal conversation, right?
Flew by, right?
I told you it will literally just be a casual conversation.
Right.
But since we're at the end, I'm going to leave you with this last question.
Okay.
How do you want to be remembered when you're gone? I know it's a pretty loaded question, so please be as thorough as you would like.
Yeah. How I want to be remembered when I'm gone, I think the main thing, like I can make all of like the cool movies, the cool designs, cool projects, all that stuff. But I think the main thing I want to be remembered for when I'm gone is just someone that was willing to help people, and someone that, like, I'm a huge fan of not just bringing myself up, but I want to bring my team with me too. So if I was able to set up careers for people that were spanned for decades and decades and decades to continue once I am gone, that's all I really want. Like, I just want to be able to get a spotlight on people who I feel like are super talented but don't know it yet. So yeah, I think that's what I'll be remembered for.
And for anyone that maybe, whether they're younger or older than us, do you have any advice for anyone that feels like their time is kind of running out, or they don't know what they want to do really in their lives, or they're at the point where they want to give up about certain things?
Yeah, it's super cliche, but don't. You gotta. I mean, I've been in situations where it's like, I'm getting old now. I'm 24. Like my hip hurts. Like I'm old. What am I gonna do? I'm getting washed up. But when you see people who are breaking into Hollywood in their 30s and 40s and finally just getting their spotlight, getting their Oscar or whatever, you realize, bro, it's never too late. So you literally, and I just made a post about this the other day. If you're a filmmaker, like, turn that camera on, go do something, go shoot something. If you're an artist, open that laptop up, do some Photoshop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to do it. I think most people are afraid. The main thing that's keeping them from going on being successful is they're just afraid to try and mess up and fail. So you can't be afraid that you're going to fall down, you're going to fail, you're going to land on your face, but you have the ability to get back up and try again until something sticks. So yeah, literally, like, just go out there and just go create, and then something's going to stick, I promise you.
Right. So, Mr. Payton,
yes,
my imaginary friend, it's been lovely speaking to you.
Yes, it's been amazing having you on this platform, Destiny. Thank you. And just also, like I did earlier, I want to give you your flowers for doing stuff in NFL, graduating. You got different productions in the works. Like, you are really out here, And it's cool seeing where we started from. We were just casual friends in photography class and math class, and now look at us, we're on Tiny Mic Talks, and we're about to take over the world like creatively this year.
All of us.
Yeah, so I'm super proud of you, super proud of everyone on my team, super proud of all my friends, and let's just keep creating.
Yeah. And is there anyone you want to shout out real quick before we wrap up?
Absolutely. I want to shout out my entire cast and crew: Mr. Matthews, Keisha Brown, Marcus Williams, Obed Gant, Tommy Evans, Lamont Tucker Jr., my cinematographer, Quantrez Brown. He's also my editor. I want to shout out all my friends at VCDMA. It's too many people to get through. Aaron, Shane, Zara, Tiana, Torrance, everyone. I love everyone. Samuel. And I want to shout out the people who I don't know but are watching this, and I may have been able to inspire them to go out and create something.
Period. Mic
drop.
drop.
Yes, tiny mic drop.
But Payton, it's been lovely to have you on the show. I mean, I'm glad that we were able to set time aside to talk and chat, because I've been wanting to do this for a couple years now and coming back. So I'm so happy that you're able to, come on the show. I mean, and I would love to have you for more episodes in the future.
Look, you have my number. Look, this is a great platform. Yeah. Anytime you want me back, just let me know.
Of course. So with that being said, thank you all for watching this episode of Tiny Mic Talks. And we're signing off, friends, and we will see you later.